I'm Jim Keenan. I didn't think this would be that hard. Going from John Doe 76C to a face and a name. A little bit about me, I'm a psychologist, and I work with kids. And I've always wondered why, in about 10th grade, I knew that's what I would do. And I figured it out a few years back. I work with kids who have been abused and who live through terrible things, and I've always been able to equate myself with them and bond with them quickly. And that's been a gift. But what it does to me is it makes me absolutely unable to understand why an agency that claims to be a church and a religion and a conduit to a higher power can't see what they're doing. I have a staff of 27 people that work with me. And if I knew that one of my staff was accused of touching a person, a child, they would be gone from my organization. They would be arrested on sight. It would take every ounce of my energy not to physically interact with them. They would no longer be part of my organization. They would be so far from kids. And yet this is an organization that seems to relish the idea that they are bigger and better and stronger than anyone else and bully around. That's because I chose to say to them in the morning, I spent 14 hours, I think it was, in mediation. I thought it'd take about 2 hours. I thought I'd walk in and go, really, what I really want, guys, is for you to give me all the names and to give all the names out there that you know and to change your policy. I figured these are lawyers I was talking to and officials of the church. They're supposed to be smart. I saw no brains being used that day. All I saw was their ability to say, how much money will it take us to pay you so you'll shut up? And then after they win on this, what I consider a stupid technicality, now they come and say, if you stop, then you won't have to pay this, or we're going to charge you this. It's all about money. I'm sad today. I feel beat up again. I feel like I feel like the bully was let out of the field again, and he got to beat me again when I found out about that. I just can't believe what they're doing. I can't believe that they look in the mirror and say, morally, we're doing the right thing here. Morally, we're doing exactly what needs to be done.
There are 33 credibly accused priests of the Archdiocese whose names are known to this Archbishop and all of those before him, who are kept secret, who are not known to the public, whose location is not known to the public, who are at risk for offending and reoffending as they had before. And this Archbishop and this Archdiocese continues to keep those names secret. And all this man wanted first was to make sure that they came forth with those names so that what could happen? Other kids be protected. That's what he said. That's what he wanted. That's what he said from day one when he contacted us. That's what he said when the Archdiocese lawyers and officials came into this office to see what he wanted to settle. He said, protect the kids, give up the names and the secrets. And what do? They refused. And they're adhering to their secrets, to save face, and to save their reputation at the peril of all those other children out there. And they continue to hurt this family.
Mr. Keenan, are you aware that the diocese, upon learning of your bankruptcy filings, has now asked the judge to stay the proceedings?
No.
You don't know that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
The diocese has just released a statement, got off the phone with him, saying Mr. Keenan has filed bankruptcy, apparently attempted to keep whatever settlement out of that bankruptcy proceedings, has refiled, and now the diocese is asking the district court to delay the original motion until the bankruptcy situation can be figured out.
Okay.
So in other words, do you have any reaction to that?
It's about money for them. What they should be calling and saying, you know what, we're reconsidering the concept of keeping priests private who touch little boys and little girls. We're going to reconsider our policies. This has never been about money other than this is a tactical way to slap me in the face. That's what it's about. And, you know, it dumbfounds me. It is what it is. So it's not about money for me. It's never been about that. I think that's what's driving them crazy. That I actually want the truth. 1 second. Okay, to go to the bankruptcy thing, for everyone's information, my wife and I bought a resort 2 years ago with a plan to create a place where families with children with autism, because I do a lot of work with children in the autism field, could come and have a therapeutic vacation where we do pontoon rides for the dads and we get to talk about it, where we have campfires with the whole family and we're doing therapeutic interventions. And like many businesses in the last 2 years, when you buy something contract for deed in February of '08 and the banks collapse in November, good luck getting a refi. And as a result, the man who had the contract for deed took my resort back. And I was left with all of my startup costs. And that is the reason that a bankruptcy was filed. For them to insinuate that there was anything premeditated to that to cover my backside on this, I would have had to known what asinine move they were going to make next, which I didn't. Nobody can guess that. You would have to, you could make up the craziest move and go, no, I don't think they're going to do that, and they would do it. So a bankruptcy personally on mine and my wife's situation that was filed in June, well before any of this occurred, has no bearing on this, other than maybe the law might be on my side in one case here. You know, the technicality that they chose to jump through never came into play until I said I'm not talking about money, I want rules and policy changed.
I've got a reaction to the question you just asked him about a bankruptcy. And you said something about the Archdiocese just released a statement saying something about a bankruptcy?
Yes.
Well, that comes as news to us that they just disseminated that. But what that tells us again today is what they're doing is throwing salt back in the wounds of this man and this family to punish this man and this family and anybody else that has the courage to demand that they stand up and tell the truth about who they are and what they've done and about their secrets. They refused to do that when he first brought suit several years ago. They refused to do that when they asked him what he wanted. They refused to do it at all times and still do, and continue to throw salt in the wounds of this family and this man. And it upsets me to hear that again they're doing that today by releasing public information that really has no bearing on child protection.